So we're here with Katy Bendel Daniels of Carpathian Wines talking about Central European wines. Katy, what is it that fuels your enthusiasm, your passion for these wines?
Well, it's kind of a combination of culture, the love of history, and a trip that I took there 8 years ago, and the wines are fabulous. So we went there, we had some incredible experiences. We actually picked up a car in Vienna. We drove down to Slovenia, drove the whole length of Slovenia, down through the Istrian Peninsula where some fabulous wines are made, and all the way down to the southern tip of Croatia. But along the way, I mean, we came across castles. We started talking to the groundskeeper that's there, and we get a tour through the castle. And the next thing we know, they have a wine cellar, and we end up downstairs in their wine cellar drinking wine with them out of the cask. We left with some new wines, and their varietals were different. You know, I'm from California. I'm used to a California Chardonnay, usually a heavy oak to it, big Cab Sauvignons, and over there they had a Pinot Blanc, Chipon, which is a Slovenian dry ferment. They had Plavik Mali, which is this really bold red wine. The parent of the Zinfandel actually came from this region. So it just, you know, started snowballing, and never expected to even start importing wine. It just became a time for me to change direction. So about 8 years after our first trip, just decided to import these wines and bring the culture from there that people don't know about, new varietals that we don't get to experience here just because our climate's different. You know, you can't find a California style wine over there and vice versa. So to bring this culture and these fabulous wines here, and then also open up the free market to these winemakers, because they've been in obscurity for a long time. So it's exciting, and for me it's this mix of culture and history.
So it sounds like they kind of went off the map. What happened? Why did they go dark?
When World War I started, they started getting cut off from the rest of Europe. Things started going into disrepair, and then World War II. Then the Yugoslavia Union was formed, and they went under socialist rule, and that was it. They were cut off from the free market. But early 1700s, they were the wine area.
So these are wines that a lot of people aren't aware of, even experts, it seems, because the volumes are small, it's more of a craft setting there.
Sommeliers mostly know about the Tokaj Asu wine. A common thing is a lot of people will ask, oh, do you have a Tokaj? Well, Tokaj is the actual region. Asu is the style of the dessert wine. But also out of these regions, they have beautiful dry white wines. A lot of aromaticness to them, nice balance of fruit with acid.
And so are the methods that are used in Central Europe, are they the same methods that we're familiar with?
Every winemaker has their style. They do a little thing, a little something different with the fundamentals, but the fundamentals are the same. But this region is influenced by the Greeks. For example, actually I'll grab this bottle right here. This is the shape of an amphora. They use all modern technology. They have state-of-the-art winery. They ferment in new French oak for 18 months. But after fermentation in the oak barrel, they pump the wine into a 7-foot clay amphora. It's this big clay terracotta pot that's, you know, cured, you know, that the Greeks used to use, and actually goes back to Mesopotamian times. They reseed it in the cellar floor because the temperature is constant, and then they age it another year. So you get some minerality to it. This one, when you pour it, there's a nice copper tint to it. But you get nutmeg, and you get the cinnamon from the French oak. The old world oaks have that kind of flavor it adds. But then the tannins, even though it's a white wine, because there's some maceration, some fermentation with the skin on, it's just a beautiful, soft wine, but it has a lot of minerality to it from the terracotta. So it's just an ancient technique they're blending with the state-of-the-art technology.
So this is a long way from the mass production, industrialized processes.
You know, I don't have mass-produced wines. For example, one of the winemakers in Tokaj, Hungary, They make the sweet, sweet wine that has high acid, and they only made 62 cases of it. It's a special wine. It's only a 375 milliliter bottle. No one else could get it, but I ended up with some cases of it. It's just absolutely beautiful. But a large distributor wouldn't touch it because it's just not worth their time and effort. But these wines are special, so I'm not in it to bring in the cheapest wine and get the largest margin. It's about introducing these really special wines. So yeah, they're limited production. Some of them 62 cases, some 100 cases, 150 cases.
Katy, what would you say your goals are for this enterprise? What are you trying to achieve?
To bring the culture from the old world and bring new varietals to American drinkers.